What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. Today what I want to do is go over the process of installing and configuring XAMPP for WordPress theme development. When developing a WordPress theme on Windows, I go back and forth between XAMPP and MAMP, but over the years I've come to the conclusion that for now XAMPP is the preferred method when developing on Windows. And when you're on macOS, MAMP is the way to go. Alright, so in order to get XAMPP, you're going to go to apachefriends.org. This is the page right here. And in this video, I'll also show you how to configure your PHP INI file and make sure that PHP and MySQL is in your path. Alright, so the first thing to do is go right here to where it says XAMPP for Windows. I'll make the screen larger. Alright, so we'll click the download link right here, and then you'll get the pop-up showing that it will download to your downloads folder. Click on save. And this video is part of a larger project in terms of WordPress theme development. So if you want to support the channel, head on over to my website, PixemWeb.com. And this is where you can purchase DevWP. Now, if you remember from the introduction video, DevWP is a development WordPress theme, and there's a lot of technology that goes into it. And in this series, I'm going to show you and provide for you a deep dive into how to develop secure, professional WordPress themes. You could also check out some of my previous videos. This is my almost 5.5 hour long video that provides a step-by-step tutorial with DevWP. And as you can see, I have a bunch of videos before that as well. Alright, so we'll go to the downloads folder now. And in your downloads folder, you'll see the link right here, or you'll see the file right here. Double click on that. You'll get a user account control notification. Click on yes. And if you have a firewall or if you have antivirus or anti-malware software, it'll give you this notice. Click on yes, and then click OK. And then you'll get this screen over here. Click on next. This shows you some of the components. You can leave all the default checks right there. Click next. This is the location of where XAMPP is going to be installed on your Windows system. Click on next. And this is where you can choose your language. Click next. And then you'll get the message ready to install. Click next. And it'll start the process of installing XAMPP on your system. The process can take a while, so just let it run its course. Once it's done, you'll get this pop-up over here saying setup has finished. Do you want to start the control panel? Leave that checked. Click on finish. So this is the control panel right here. You have your Apache process right here, and you have the MySQL process right there. You also have the config for both of these and your general config. So if we go here to the Apache config, what I want you to do is open up your php.ini file. Now this is your configuration file for XAMPP, and this is the location that we're gonna adjust some of the values to give a little bit more performance to our system. So from here, what I'll do is I'll run the find command with Control F. I'm going to search for memory_limit. And right here, you see the default value is set to 512. Now, depending on your system, you should adjust your values. If you have enough resources on your computer, then adjust this up to like 2048. If you want to do deeper analysis of the entire WordPress core, you're going to have to give a lot more processing power and memory limit to PHP. But for now, I'm setting the memory limit to 2048. Alright, so the next value is going to be max execution time. Click on find next. If it says it can't find it, it's because you have the down option over here. Click on the up, and we're going to change this value to 300 for now. And then we'll look for max input time. And for this value, we'll say 240. And then post max size. We'll change this to 64. And then upload max file size. We'll change that to 64 as well. And then next we'll type out mysql.connect. And we'll set that to 240. And then we'll save the file. Alright, so those are the values that we're going to have for our php.ini file. This will give a little bit more performance to PHP. And then the next one is going to be the MySQL file. We'll click on config. And then the my.ini file. Let me make this bigger. Alright, so in this file, we're going to be adjusting a couple of values. And again, this is to increase the performance of MySQL. So the first one's going to be here, the max allowed packets. I'm going to change this one to 512. And then I'll scroll down. And then under here, in node b_buffer pool, I'll adjust this value to 2G. Then we'll scroll down some more. Matter of fact, I'll do a find. And this is the second max allowed packet. I'll change that one to 512 as well. This is for MySQL dump when you're dumping a file or a database. And the other one was for MySQL itself. All right, so that finishes it for the my.ini file. we'll save this file, close it out. And if you already had Apache or MySQL running, you would have to stop it and then start it again for those values to take effect. All right, so the next thing I want to do is make sure that PHP and MySQL are in my path environment. So I'll hit the Windows key, I'll type out path, and you're going to get this option over here, the edit the system environment variables. Click that. Over here, under the startup and recovery, click the environment variables. You'll get this pop-up. You can first check your user directory and you can see what's here, just to check whether or not it automatically inserted itself into the path environment. If it's not there, you can check your system variables and see if it's there. And if it's not, then you could add it. Now, where should you put it? Should you put it in your user variables or should you put it in your system variables? Well, there's pros and cons to each, but the basics are, if you have a multi-user computer, then you're going to want to probably put it into your user variable for yourself, unless you want other users to be able to access that as well. If you're the only person on your system, then you can put it into your system variables. But for now, I'm going to put everything in my path environment over here in the user variables. So I'll make sure that's highlighted. I'll click on edit and I'm going to want to add new. So you're going to get the blank option over here. Click on browse. I'll go to this PC, local disk, scroll down to where you see XAMPP over here. And the first one I'll put is PHP. So that's the option right there. Click OK. And a matter of fact, let's add the MySQL one as well. Again, click on new, browse, this PC, local disk, XAMPP, MySQL. And for this one, you'll go into the bin folder, and then click OK. So now we have PHP and we have MySQL bin in your path. Click OK, OK, and OK. All right, so now let's look at the file system. So this is where you're going to be putting all your projects. So if you have, let's say, WordPress downloaded and then you have another WordPress installation, you'll name it something different. This is where you're going to be putting it in, the htdocs folder. And you're not going to touch these options over here. You'll leave them there. And what I like to do is pin the current folder to quick access. That way, you'll have easy access to that folder. But this is where you'll put all your WordPress projects. And then go back to the browser. Typically, you go to localhost, but we got to start our servers. So you click start and then start. You see the status right there. And then go back to the browser. I'll reload the page. And now you see we get taken to the dashboard. So this is where you have some how-to guides, your PHP info. And this right here, PHP is the GUI for MySQL, for your databases. So over here is where you create a new database. And we'll go about doing that when we install WordPress itself. And again, if you want to support this project, head on over to PixemWeb.com and check out and consider purchasing DevWP. It supports the channel. It helps me to create these videos. And my goal is to make sure that I provide as much valuable information to make your development workflow as seamless as possible. If you want to check out some other videos, you can see right here what I have. And if you want to see other videos that I have created on the channel, you can check them out right here. All right, so hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification icon. And as always, thanks for watching and happy coding.